Hello, it's me Shiran, and welcome back to the Strongest Deck, a content where I share to you guys some strong non-animation deck that you can use for rank climbing. For this week, I want to share a deck that has very simple playstyle and it also works really good with the Spellbook engine. That deck is Mayosenju deck. This is technically a Yosenju deck because Mayosenju is not an archetype, but this build is mainly focusing on the high level Yosenju, which is the Mayosenju. Without further ado, let's go straight to the deck explanation. This build main playstyle and strategy is just simply do Pendulum summoning the Mayosenju monster, which is the Hitot and Daybug. These two monsters has similar effect when it's normal or Pendulum summon, which is it will return back some card back to the hand. This effect really strong because it didn't destroy them and it targeting any card, so it also works for the back row. Daybug will return up to 2 cards on the field when it's Pendulum summon. I usually like to return my own Pendulum scale back to hand so my opponents cannot destroy them and I can use it again next turn. The Pendulum effect is just a attack boost for the Yosenju monster. It didn't too important because most of the time you didn't use this monster as Pendulum scale, since the monster effect is better. Hitot will return 1 card your opponent's control back to hand. Not like Daybug, it only targeting cards your opponent's control, and each time cards on the field return back to hand or deck by your card's effect, it will boost all Yosenju monster attack by 500. For example, if you Pendulum summon Daybug and Hitot, then use this effect, Hitot's other effect will be triggered 2 times, and that is enough to defeat your opponents. The Pendulum effect is also really good. It can change the Pendulum scale of Yosenju card on the Pendulum zone into 11, and this effect is really good to help you Pendulum summon. Hitot also has a unique Pendulum effect that it will return back itself back to hand from the Pendulum zone. This effect really good for your next turn play, because most of the Yosenju playstyle is summoning some monster, return back some card, attacking, and return itself back to hand. So you will always have a play for your next turn, and your opponents cannot deal with the monster because it's back to hand. The Senju left and right is the main Pendulum scale on this deck, so you mostly use them for Pendulum scale. Senju right can change its own Pendulum scale into 11 if the other Pendulum scale is your Senju card. And for the Senju left, it can protect your Yosenju monster from being destroyed by destroying itself instead. I like to make this card stay on the field until I finish attacking, so it will protect my monster. Sword Sting is amazing trap card for Yosenju, because it will return back up to 2 face-up cards your opponents control back to hand. The Orochi Channeling is the main searcher for this deck. You can either search the Mayosenju or placing the Senju left and right into the Pendulum zone, so it technically searches for the entire deck. Most people like to use 3 of Orochi Channeling and Daybug, but I only use 2 copies of them because I add the Spellbook engine on this deck. This engine is amazing for this deck because this deck didn't use its normal summon, so you can use it for the blue boy. If you don't know about this engine, the main idea for this engine is to send the blue boy for the knowledge to draw some cards. This engine help you grabbing some cards like the traps or Kytroid that cannot be searched on this deck. I also like to use the Grand Spellbook Tower on my Spellbook engine, just because it like giving me additional cards on my draw phase and I can use knowledge again and again. For the skill, I use Neo New Silvio. This skill will add the Senju left and right on your deck, so you will have 3 coffee each of them on this deck. Other skill effect is when your LP is reduced by 2000. You can return the Yosenju cards back to hand to add the Orochi Channeling from outside of the deck, which is help this deck for comeback play. I didn't use any card on my extra deck for this deck, because I don't think this deck need them. If you want, you can throw some rank 4 and 10 XYZ monster for this deck. I think that is for the deck. Really amazing deck and can easily OTK your opponents. I got most like 7 win streak using this build, and I think that is pretty amazing for a deck like this. If you like this deck, make sure to click the like button below. Also, hit the subscribe button for more content like this. I also put the link for a deck in the description below, so feel free to check it. Now let's go to some replays and hope you enjoy it.
Duel! かん。いでよ魔妖戦獣一つ目の村地。烈風まといしあやかしの長よ、荒ぶるその衣を解き放ち、大河を巻き上げ大地をえぐれ。いでよ魔妖戦獣大バカ勢。一つ目の村地のモンスター効果発動。大バカ勢のモンスター効果発動。リバースカードトラップ発動。一つ目の村地のモンスター効果発動。手札からフィールド魔法発動。カードを伏せるぜ。バトルだ。やれ大バカ勢で攻撃だ。おのれぴったりゼロにしてフィニッシュしてやるよ。さあやれ一つ目の村地。だが心の闇が消えることはない。勝つべくして勝つ完璧なるデュエリスト、それがこの沢渡信号。あーイエスイエス。